Warning, this video contains potentially triggering content.
Let's do it. Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monika should have come up with a plan for today's club tasks, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori is going through these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't think to ask her about her own feelings. So much for this stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile. But upon seeing the downcast Monika, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monika? Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monika shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monika stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying about me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you are here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monika massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable that Sayori isn't ready to share certain things, but as unfair as it is for Monika to pry, it's also painful for Monika to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monika takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand that you don't want me to worry, and I think I'll be able to put this aside so that we can move on, but can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monika pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in the ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Write the way into your heart, or whatever. So, I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monika returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine, we have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know. There's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. It's fine. I think I just need, some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You kind of just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can just start by writing your feelings and see what kinds of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you want to put in and then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way of not to get stuck right at the beginning. I understand. Yeah, I always get so caught up in how it sounds that I forget about what's really important. Monika pulls out a pen and paper and start writing on. Stop being a perfectionist, you idiot. I'm just kidding. Monika scribbles out, you idiot, after she writes it down. No, keep it. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is that you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. I was just... Well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monika rewrites, you idiot. She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for it, and then I did the exact thing anyway. This is really going to take some getting used to. I believe in you. Thanks, I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course. Monika continues the exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it, but after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monika's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Phew. Monika looks up and down at her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I'd have to try really, really hard at it. But I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing. With you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's try and work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Yay! Let's do it! Monika and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. Good job, girls! Wonderful. Another day passes. As usual, Monika is the first one in the club room. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monika and Sayori came up with. If only this was the flyer we gave to the one reading girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the old one, but the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely, common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. I disagree, but okay. But the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monika and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monika thinks back to the previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be president if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight on Monika's shoulders only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints, and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside, That's why Monika was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself for real. Monika pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. Monika lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monika's canvas. Ugh. Out of spite for herself, Monika presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monika. Just move your hand. Monika writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Oh, that's so sad. Monika slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on her desk. The air conditioner seems louder today. I'm here. Hi. Monika hears Sayori approach her desk, then stop for a second, probably reading at the piece of paper. Then she sits down in the adjacent desk. Bad day? Mm-hmm. Me too. You too? The new flyer looks good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable. Sayori takes a sheet of paper from Monika's desk. She writes something down and stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monika with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monika takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. That's really hard to read. Sometimes I want to die. That's rough. Like, I feel that in my whole soul. I feel like Sayori and I are, like, on the same wavelength. Yeah, for real. And, yeah, that's hard. Sayori, this is really, really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like 1,000,000 times better than me. That's completely not true. Sayori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday. I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. This is the literature club. I trust you more than I'm scared. At those words, Monika stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Where Monika's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed. Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monika waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry about me too much. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? So I never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts that I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. But that's terrible. That's what Monika wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, wherever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask me, what's wrong? I know that because it used to be like that. Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. But another part of me, I think, just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I keep feeling like it was the right thing for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly the club is only 2 people, but it already means this much to me. Monika feels a tightening sensation in her heart. Same though. A feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're so strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monika steps forward. But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy. Oh, you dumb bitch. If you'd like. Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monika's shoulder. Guys, this is so fucking cute. Through their contact, Monika can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head. And at this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monika realizes that all of the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything and I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she's never dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless, and everyone would be better off without me. She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it just feels like everyone just has to put up with me, and I hate it. I hate it. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away, and now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monika becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now. So, she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. It's just being your friend. Monika offers a few words of comfort, but she knows. Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong. And Monika can't magically make them go away. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value to me and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could ever have happened. Even if we never got any new members, I would still be happy. That's because that's what you brought here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monika feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. The two share their embrace for a while longer, Monika letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. I need a minute. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, bump the brakes. Bump the brakes. That was a whole lot of feelings that I was not prepared to feel today. Oh my god, I almost lost it. I almost lost composure. Oh my god. So, I'm pretty sure Sayori suffers from depression. As someone who also suffers from depression, I feel that way a lot. I'm a burden. I'm a nuisance. I'm an inconvenience. And I know that it's not true. Like, there's some days when you just don't want to get up. There's nothing, and it's not because, like, it's not just because you're tired or whatever, because nobody wants to get out of bed, right? I guess there's probably somebody, but it's like you don't want to exist in that space. You don't want to, I hate saying that the phrase, you don't want to live anymore, but that's what it is. There's some days I feel like on my bad days that it would be easier if I just didn't wake up. And that's really fucking sad. And I feel that with my whole soul, like. Alright. Compose. Deep breaths. Okay. I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are. If that's what makes you happy. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayori nods. It's scary. Since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah. Well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired and hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monika smiles. But I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside, a face that seems familiar. As like a little PSA, if you're ever feeling these kinds of thoughts like Sayori is, I do recommend going to see a professional. I have, you can take medication if that's good for you, if that works for you. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. But it helps just to talk to somebody. Like, don't keep that to yourself. I know it's hard to get over the thoughts of you're being a burden to someone, but if you don't talk about these things, it's going to eat you up inside. And you have to get over the thought that you're a burden, at least to that extent. I know it's impossible to say, hey, stop thinking about that. Like, that's so stupid. If people say, but that's not true, that's the wrong thing to say. You're always, like, those thoughts are always going to be there. The goal in therapy is you want to push those thoughts farther and farther back. So it's not the main voice you're always hearing. You know what I mean? So I do recommend going to see someone, talk to them, even if you don't go in person. Nowadays, you can literally do therapy online, phone calls. Like, it's easy. It's easy, and I know that it's not always cheap, but even a little bit. And, they do have, like, if you ever feel like you're having thoughts of suicide or harming yourself or anything like that, harming someone else, there are people that you can contact that will help you, and it won't cost you anything at all. So, as always, I love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'm going to go bake some bread, and I will see you next time. Bye!